Ja, hallå allihopa och välkomna tillbaka till ännu en stream slash video av The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Jag hade tänkt att avrunda det här första tutorial-fallet här nu. Men först så tänkte jag försöka påminna er och mig om vad som hände. Eller vad som har hänt hittills, vad som hände senast här. Vi har ju den här brittiska kvinnan nu här som vi starkt misstänker är den skyldige i det här fallet. Att det är hon som är mördaren. Tidigare så ville hon inte prata, utan då var den här till höger här som översatte åt henne. Men nu har hon faktiskt själv börjat prata här. Sen så kommer jag faktiskt inte ihåg. Jag vet bara att vi vittnade om att den här mannen som blev mördad var inte ensam, utan han var med den här kvinnan och vi lärde bevisa det för att de försökte gömma undan det, för att det är nog politiska grejer med här mellan Japan och Stora Britannien. Så det är lite skört där, och nu håller jag på att sabba hela det genom att peka ut den här kvinnan som mördare. Jag tror inte vi har någon aning om egentligen varför hon skulle ha gjort det här. Vad hennes motiv är. Så det är väl vad vi vill få reda på nu här, så att vi kan sätta dit henne. Jag vet inte om när jag spelade det här senast om jag hade en klar idé vad vi skulle lista ut här näst, eller om det är någonting jag måste figurera ut här nu medan jag börjar. Dessutom så skulle jag ju ge henne här en engelsk accent, vilket jag finner rätt så svårt. Men jag ska väl försöka mitt bästa. Träna. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. Känns som att jag håller på att råka gå över till så här australiensk. Så att det går fram och tillbaka mellan dem. De är svåra att skilja på, tycker jag. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
What do you think, Rinosuke?
I don't know. I think this could be hard work. She can speak Japanese brilliantly, but she doesn't seem to want to say very much.
The more she says, the more she is likely to give away. This English woman knows that only too well. She is quite formidable.
Dr. Wilson's burn tells us something, I'm sure. I need to use this cross-examination to find out what. First things first, I'm going to press her on everything she said and try to make her blurt something out. What is it, Kazuma? What are you thinking?
Oh, don't worry. It's nothing.
Okej. Så först blev jag påmind där. Jag tror att det sista jag gjorde innan det här började var att jag hittade på ett fotografi att han hade bränt sig på tallriken. Han hade fått en märke. Hur det spelade in, det kommer jag nog inte ihåg. Men de gav just ledtråden att det ska ha någonting med det här att göra. Och de gav oss också ledtråden att de ville att vi skulle pressa så att svaret finns inte här direkt. Så jag undrar om man ska välja taktiskt vart man ska pressa eller om man ska bara börja pressa rakt ut och rakt fram. Så att säga. Ja. Men jag går väl över det här och ser vad det står. För nu jag fokuserar så mycket på rösten att jag glömde bort ens kolla vad det stod. I have known the poor man burnt his wrist like that. Professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. Ja just ja, nu ju själva idén var väl att vi antog att han däckade och blev bränd på tallriken och sen blev han skjuten, så att idén är att han blev skjuten efter att han dog och att den egentligen dödsmetoden var något annat sätt, säkert blev typ förgiftad eller någonting sånt där. Jag börjar väl pressa det här första.
Yes! But his hand was on a soaring hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I've arrived at this courtroom, and even now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Ha ha ha, what fun. You hadn't realized.
The dear lady is absolutely right.
As your friend, you embarrassed me as well as yourself, Rinosuke.
Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence above a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing?
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes! Well, I can't. Anyway.
Okej, det där gav ingenting. Raised our glasses in a toast. Jag ska bara kolla lite. Vad säger den då? Vad säger postmortem reporten? Har vi den här? Ja, hon har ju rätt i det, ja. Jag tänkte väl ta och pressa på den här nästa, tror jag. There's some other man of it.
Yes!
Pressa på den där.
Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body.
Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga?
As I've said, I have always aimed for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's sure. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If heaven forbid you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it?
Oh no, perish the thought. Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Takechi, will cut down anyone who dare cast such aspersions.
A way of killing someone that doesn't leave no trace.
We need some evidence to back us up here.
Yes, evidence.
Men vi har väl inget sånt evidens, va? Jag tänker mig gift. Det är vad jag tänker på. Men det finns ingenting som skulle peka på det här då. Se vad har vi på bilden här då. Eller är det man ska säga? Att själva drinken var förgiftad. Alltså, hade inte båda ett glas? Sa hon. I'm gonna go back to that.
Yes!
Bara ett glas på bilden ju. Var han inte tillåten att äta och dricka, eller var det bara äta? I don't remember. För han hade varit hos tandläkaren.
As you've testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right?
Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter.
Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steaks to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you.
I've had enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you.
I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway.
Okej, pressa det här. So that's another... Jag tror att det är det vi är på väg i alla fall. Glaset, eller vattnet han drack var förgiftat. Men vart ska jag bevisa? Hur ska jag bevisa det? Jag ska fortsätta pressa, se om jag får mer information. För det var det de ville.
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. A fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes.
Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been a bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life.
But it doesn't make any sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter.
Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that.
And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must already have been dead at that point.
And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right.
Undrar om jag ska ska presentera bilden med flaskan och vattnet till det här statementet. Med logiken att man kan döda dem med flaskan eller med innehållet i drycken. Jag testar det. Det är inte som att jag kommer få game over om jag...
Yes! That statement is clearly odd. What appears to be odd is the way you are presenting yourself. Oh, pay no attention, Your Excellency. As you wish. Now kindly lower your hand. Never. Not until I've proven I'm innocent here.
Okej, så det var inte rätt. Okej, har jag pressat alla? Jag har pressat alla förutom det sista, tror jag. Så vad är sista? Vadå?
Yes!
Jag kommer få någonting av här.
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Is that so?
Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence might be lost. It doesn't even occur to you naive detectives that you try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand.
A killer blow. The lady is as formidable as he is beautiful.
Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense.
Oops, nu ska jag ha fel röst där.
I very much doubt that.
Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right.
What do you think, Rinosoge?
I think it's going terribly. No matter much how I press her, I'm not turning up any new information.
Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or cross-examination will be over.
But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a clink in her armor. Kazuma!
What, Rinosoku?
There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me.
Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett?
Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Husanaga.
The detective?
Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If I might present an opening, maybe.
All right. I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time.
If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective.
All right then.
All right. Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma is thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again.
Okej, så de vill att jag ska pressa det sista igen. Ja, jag tyckte väl såg att det var någonting skumt med den här killen åt höger här.
Yes! Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for a later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right. Well, vänta. Det här har vi redan sett.
Wait.
Okej, så nu...
Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why?
Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity.
What do you mean?
When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down.
You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts.
It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought.
Sorry, pursue?
I'll explain how to do it now, Renos, okay? It's all to do with the witness marker.
What marker?
At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with AD, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around.
Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with AD and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with space and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Okej, så det här är en ny grej för det här spelet. Det brukar alltid vara lite nya grejer i varje spel, nya mekaniker till spelet. Och här verkar vara det nya för det här omgången. För i tidigare spel så brukade det alltid vara en person som stod här och vittnade. Men nu är det 2 stycken ibland som vi har sett. Och tydligen så är det för att man ska kunna läsa ut reaktioner här av de som står bredvid och få någon misstanke på det sättet. Så jag ska växla över till honom här nu och trycka på space.
Excuse me.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts, deeply.
It looked like you were thinking of something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard that the lady next to you had to say?
If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Oh, what is the meaning of this? It's the delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works?
Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness.
Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes, sir. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in the Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Tusanaka, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I am not afraid to take everything I can find from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I am not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief.
Okej, så hon räknade liksom med att bevismaterialet skulle bli undanröjt. Men den här inspektören tog på sig initiativet själv att sno med sig det, vilket kommer leda in henne i trubbel nu.
Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touch a nerve there.
Take this for example.
Uh-oh.
Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept a glass of bottled water as evidence. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his further. Ahem. Unfortunately...
Okej. Ja, jag har redan sett. Okej, så nu har vi den här flaskan. There's some other way. Okej, här. Nu ska jag presentera här. Ska man examinata det här först kanske, bara för säkerhets skull. Se om det är finns något intressant här. Blinka till, va?
So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had.
It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now.
You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going.
No, Rinosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence.
Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we?
You never cease to amaze me, Rinosuke. In more ways than one.
I wonder, could there be anything in this water?
What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden.
I think I might just have worked something out. An interesting possibility. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma?
I think it's French. This must be very expensive water.
Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking.
Then go to France and ask.
You could just say you don't know.
Okej, det var allting på den här. Ja, jag ska presentera den här flaskan.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water. Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison.
Poison.
On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order! 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 And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to sip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Ysail Brett. It was you!
This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you ever even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusation could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
Well,
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
If I may.
I will silence you for...
Shut up! It is you who should be silent.
Of course. Dear lady.
Where did that come from? She just snapped. I am afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I am sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I describe your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particularly point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did. Have you forgotten what my kiting principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents.
And what did you find, Inspector?
I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottled carbonated water, Your Excellency.
But what about gift som kommer från utomlands?
What? Are you sure?
The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. I'm very grateful to all of you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you.
But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours.
It was so sure. I was so sure.
This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned.
Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I am just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma!
I am sorry, Rinosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Who? Va? Hon som från tidigare.
Please wait. Isn't that?
What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susata Mikotobo, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth.
To be continued. Det här är inte slut ännu. Okej. Yes.